Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I want to show you how you can make your very own custom foot cast for things like cosplay, custom wears, and fursuit feet paws. And I'm going to show you how to do that with some simple household items. You're going to need some Glad cling and seal. I chose Glad because it has the best cling and the best seal. Some strong adhering duct tape. I like the 3M brand. This is one of my favorites. And white because I happen to have it around. Sharpie to draw on your duct tape. EMT scissors to help you cut through the duct tape.
Polyfill.
And last but not least, your model. So let's get started right now.
Alright everyone, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get into a nice comfortable spot, have the model sitting at a level similar to yourself here. You can rest them on a pillow or just have them resting on your leg. As you saw there, I showed the other foot that I had used. I am going to be making this model of the foot a little longer, a bit longer, so we can adapt things like a boot or a longer type of foot paw or whatnot if we're doing an animal costume. Right now I'm taking the Glad cling wrap and just generously wrapping the foot, making sure I'm getting all the way around, going up high on the shin so that way I don't have any duct tape sticking to the model's leg. And you can see there I missed the top of the foot, so I'm adding a little bit more cling wrap. It's looking pretty good. So the next thing you want to do, of course, is when you get your wrap there, make sure that the foot is at 90 degrees. This is important. You want to make sure the foot does remain at 90 degrees. Helps keep everything as accurate as possible. So when the foot is done, it's going to be just like the actual model's foot. It will prevent distortion. And we're starting off with the duct tape here. Just tear off pieces around 4 inches in length. That's going to allow the tape to lay nice and neat, and you want to lay the tape over and roll it into position. As you can see there at the top of the foot, I'm going to show you how to get a nice smooth transition at the top of the foot so the toes don't have any points or unevenness. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. As you can see here, I'm actually rolling up a nice long piece at the shin where the ankle meets the shin. That's important to keep the joint rigid. You want to keep that rigid so it doesn't slip and slide. Here you can see I'm actually taking the tape, I've ripped it into smaller strips, and that will allow you to get your smoother transition at the top of the foot, preventing any gaps, and just lay that over like so. You can go as thin as you need, and you really can't do too much of this. You really it's going to be super helpful getting the right shape. And I would highly recommend that you do not skip over any parts of this video. It's going to allow you to keep things rolling super effectively. And you really do want to spend a good bit of time with this part of the foot. It's incredibly important that you get this part as smooth and as round as possible so it matches the person's foot exactly. So when you add your pattern later for your design, everything comes out as smooth and you have a nice pattern to work with. No bumps or ridges. Everything will lay nice and smooth when you go to trace your design on your material, whether that be fur, leather, if you're doing EVA foam. And as you can see here, I'm going a nice big piece at the bottom of the foot. That's also going to keep the foot rigid and help keep everything true to the original form. And you want to follow the natural curve of the foot. You want to start at the ball of the ankle, on the outer edge of the ankle, bottom of the foot, and you just want to roll it into the arch. That's going to give you a nice smooth transition. No bubbles, no wrinkles. Everything you need is going to be right there. And then we're going to start working our way back to the heel. Keep doing the same as before. 4-inch pieces, roughly about 4-inch pieces, and just roll them onto the foot. Now you do want this to be relatively snug to the foot so it keeps its natural shape. So there's not a whole lot of shifting and bumping around, because the shrink wrap that we added before is actually going to create a little bit of a space between the duct tape, and that's important. And you can see I'm fixing little spots here on the edge of the ankle. We're actually moving to the inside part of the ankle and the outside because we want to make sure we get that heel nice and smooth and round. Follow the same technique as I used for the top of the foot. It's coming out really well, super duper well. Adding a few more pieces to the top, making sure that everything is well covered, that there's no gaps. If you do see any gaps, just rip off a piece of tape and place that in so. Now as you can see in the back, we're actually doing some more tape, a nice long piece to the back of the calf that's going to keep our ankle rigid as we want. As you can see, I had to position it again because the model's ankle kind of went lax because they actually fell asleep during this pose, during this here, and I had to wake them up. But yeah, we actually got that part nice and rigid again. It's exactly what we want. Make sure you're asking your model as you go, making sure that they are comfortable. You don't want to cause any discomfort, pull any hair by accident. Just make sure you're keeping good communication with your model, making sure they're comfortable, because this is for them, and you want to make sure everything's going accordingly. As you can see here at the top of the shin, we're going to be going nice and slow because we don't want to pull any hair by accident. That would be a little discomfortable, and we don't want that. And turning off nice long pieces to go nice and easy around the top of the shin area. Yes, and I kind of blocked the camera there for a second. But you do want to spend time on this area and make sure that it is snug, but not so snug that you can't get scissors under it. The bottom of the foot, like the whole ankle of the foot, that can be tight and basically skin tight down there. But when you're getting to the shin and the lower part of the ankle, you want to make sure you have a little bit of gap there, just a little bit, so you can get your EMT scissors out. And like I said, you definitely don't want to skip any of these steps here that I'm discussing, because this is going to help tremendously in helping you get the best foot you can have for this kind of thing. And as you can see here, we patched up the last bit of tape there, and now we're going to start drawing on our marker. This is where you're going to be cutting. This is actually where you're going to be cutting. Just make sure everything's nice and tight and right. As you can see here, we're going to be doing that because when we cut it, we're going to be matching up our cross hatch lines. Those little lines I'm drawing there, we're going to be cutting through those, and you're going to need to line those back up once the foot is removed. What that's going to allow you to do is get the exact same shape of the person's foot. It's going to be true to the original design. It's going to be true, and it's going to allow you to line this up and stitch it up. And then you're going to be putting your stuffing, your polyfill, that stuff. And that's what's going to give your model's cast its shape. It's going to give you the wonderful shape. You can see I'm using the EMT scissors. Go slow and careful. As you can see here, I actually had to break out the blade a little bit here. Had to kind of treat it a little bit like a knife. Make sure you are using the little safety step on the bottom of the blade. Do not use the top blade. Make sure you're using that, because you don't want to nick your model. And these are skin-safe scissors as long as you're using them properly. As you can see, I'm using just the bottom blade. Do not use the top, because that bottom blade has a guard on it. Keeps the person's foot safe. And when you get down to around the top part of the ankle, you may actually be able to slide it off in one whole piece, like I did just there, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want. Exactly. And so now the model's foot is free. Model's foot is free, and you have your skin, your duct tape plastic skin. And then here comes the cool part. You're going to start stitching it up. You're going to start patching it back together with duct tape. You're going to take your colored duct tape, whatever kind of duct tape you made the cast with. You're going to use that to start piecing together your design. Start matching up your cross hatch lines. Make sure they're as close as possible. Laying it on a table can actually help so much in doing this. And I would highly recommend you do this on a flat surface so everything is true and tight. And you're going to continue that all the way down to the angle and to the very end of your cut. And just like that, just little pieces. It's better to go little pieces at a time than to go the entire thing. You're going to get a much better fit that way. Much better fit. Our next step here, we're going to take our polyfill that we showed earlier, fluff it up, tear it apart a little bit, how we get some fluff. You're going to stuff it inside the foot. I actually decided to use a PVC rod that I had to help stuff it all the way down to the tip of the foot, because you do not want to have any gaps in there. Make sure you follow this part very carefully. You can see there I'm pressing down the polyfill, making sure it's getting deep inside the foot, all the little nooks, crevices, all the crannies. You want to make sure you're getting all that. And this is the stuff you use, the polyfill. It's really good stuff. And then to cap off the end of your foot, because you don't want your polyfill leaking out, you're going to take some of your plastic wrap, some of your cling wrap, take some duct tape, lay it across that, anchor it to the side of the foot. You're going to create a little cap, and you're going to do crisscross motions with this. And then you should have a finished foot. And label the bottom of your foot, really anywhere, doesn't matter. label which leg it is, and then your foot is ready.
So everyone, here's the finished product. Here are the right leg. Got a nice, beautifully casted leg here in duct tape and plastic, and it is now ready for whatever your heart's desire may be. Leave in the comments below if you have any questions about how this was done, if you have any recommendations, or if you just like to let me know how this tutorial has worked for you. Let me know in the comments below, and give this video a like, please. It helps out the channel so much, helps with the algorithm. And if you'd like more tutorials, check out these over here. Great tutorials. I think they'll help you out so much. And check out this video too. You may find this interesting as well.